Everyone, this is Godwin. Okay, today we'll be doing a little bit of practical, direct practicals. So let's start by discussing what price action is all about, or market structure. Let's say market structure. Market structure simply means how price behaves. You know, the behavior of price is just what it is. Market structure. It just means the behavior of price, and price has three main behaviors. It's either price is going up, price is going sideways, or price is just going down. And once price is going up, we say price is an uptrend. And once price is going sideways, we say price is ranging or consolidating. And once price is going downwards, we say price is it's a downtrend. Okay, so that's just it. So let's just dive into it and see how the market moves, how price moves, the structure of the market. Okay, and how price breaks each structure. Okay, for instance, let us start with an uptrend. Okay, let me pick up the two. Okay, now this is price moving up. It takes an impulsive move up, it retraces a bit, it moves up again, it retraces. This is how price actually moves. It doesn't move in a straight line, it moves like a wave, you know. It goes up and it comes down just like that, continues like that. If it's an uptrend, this is now an uptrend. Okay, so we are using that example right now. So when price is moving this way, huh, it creates what we call swing points. huh. These points up here, up here, up here, and these points are called swing points. All these points are swing points. Okay, now observe this. Price moves here up. huh. It moves from here up, gets to this swing point, and comes back down. Now from this swing point, it moves up and move further. It moves past this point. You can see it has broken this structure. This line, it has broken it. It moves up, breaking this former high. So that's what we call break of structure. Okay. So it came down from here again a bit and went up and also broke this previous high again. It has also broken this structure. So price keep doing that, breaking structures and going once it's in an uptrend. Okay, so that's why we say when price is making higher highs and higher lows, we say price is in an uptrend. They say higher highs because this high is higher than this high is higher than this high is higher than this, so it's a higher high. Now when they say higher low, these are lows, right? But this low is higher than this low is higher than this, so it's making a higher low. Okay, so when they say price makes higher high and higher lows, they mean price is in an uptrend. You can also confirm this trend by using a trend line. Okay, let's use a trend line too. Okay, now if I connect these two here, the the you can see those about 1 2 3 or 4, in fact all the four swing points are connected and the line is facing up. That tells you that we are in an uptrend. Okay, so this is how you connect and make sure that you're in an uptrend. So that's for an uptrend. So let us delve into the downtrend aspect of it. Let me delete this. Okay, let's say now downtrend, we go up, the price goes this way. Cancel this. Okay, let's start from here. Price comes here, moves up a bit and comes back down, moves up a bit and come back, go up come down. Okay, so this is it. So now this is a downtrend, because while price is moving downwards, it also creates swing points. All these points are swing points. See there, swing points. So now markets came down here, to this point, went back up a bit, right? It now came down again, breaking this former structure here. It moved past this structure and came down. It broke this, so it has broken the structure downwards. Okay. It now went back up and came down again, breaking this other previous low. So it continues in that aspect. That's why we say it is in a downtrend. It's making lower highs and lower lows. You see, lower highs in the aspect that this this high here is lower than this one. So the highs, the lows are getting lower. Or let's say lower highs and lower lows. So you see that the lows, as it progresses, it gets lower while the trend is going down. You can also use your trend line, okay, to confirm if it is in a downtrend or not. Get your trend line, put it here, make sure it touches. See, so it has it when it comes here, it bounces back. It gets to the line, it bounces back. It gets there, it bounces back, and it's going downward. So this confirms that it's in a downtrend. Okay. All right. So that's that for that. So now let's also discuss something that is interesting: demand and supply, demand zones and supply zones. Okay, because it's through this same structure that we get them. Okay, let's say in an uptrend, price does this, does that, does this, does that, moves up, comes down, etc. Okay, let's say price does this. So now let me just let me just get the drawings right first, then we'll explain later. Okay, so I'm marking out the demand zones because these are valid demand zones. I will explain why they are valid. Okay, now, okay, I've marked out the demand zones. Now remember, we want to deal with demand and supply. How you can know where the demand zones are, or valid demand zones. Okay, all right. So I'm mapping out the demand zones. So now watch the movement. Okay, now this zone is called a demand zone because when price comes to a demand zone, a valid demand zone, that is where buyers are. Activities of many buyers have been there. They've bought. So anytime price comes there, they buy immediately and pushes the price up. Okay. So now price got to this demand zone and went up. It got to this demand zone and went up. Price now came down a bit. As it came down a bit, it went up again, breaking this structure. It moved past this structure, went up. That makes the bottom of this place a valid demand zone because price broke the previous structure here. So this makes here a valid demand zone. You see? So price went up, came down again, to this demand zone. This is another demand zone. Why is it demand zone? Because look, price went up and broke the structure. So it has made this place a demand zone. When next price comes to this place, if price goes up now and it comes down to this particular demand zone in the future, people will buy from there because it as a record of being a strong and a valid demand zone. Okay, so that's how we know a valid demand zone. When once price gets there, it went up and broke the previous structure, that makes that zone a valid demand zone. Now, let me also show you another scenario which is not a valid demand zone. Okay, here's another scenario. Let's see this. Okay, okay, now look at this scenario. Okay, price from this demand zone now, price went up, came down here, right? Now it tried to go up, but it couldn't break this previous structure. It went a bit somewhere and now came down a bit. So this zone here is not a valid demand zone because it did not break this structure. Okay, so this demand zone is invalid. Okay, so that is to say I will delete this zone because price did not break this structure. Price just stopped here, came down here, and now went back. It is this one that went up that broke this structure and also broke this structure that I can say, okay, here now would be a valid demand zone. Here would be a valid demand zone. Here. Okay. So I can equally draw my demand zone here. Okay. This is the right place to be, and not here, and not here. Here is not valid because price did not break that structure. Okay, so I take it off. So that's it with demand zones. Demand. Okay, so when we talk of demand, we also talk of supply. Okay, so talk of supply. So now let's talk about supply. Now that we've talked about demand, because demand, we have demand, we also have supply. Now supply zones are the highest point price reached before it retraced back. Okay, supply zones are the highest point price reached before it came back down. In this case, let me draw out our. In this case, okay, let's see. Now, in this case, price went up here. This is the highest point price came to, this point, before coming back down. So this makes this point our demand, our supply zone. So I'm going to draw our supply zone there. See, I draw it, I map it out. That's the supply zone. Let me color it to red because most times we use red to identify supply zones. Okay, so where else do we have supply zone? Price also went up to this other place. Here, price also came down up. This is the highest point again it went before coming down. Here's another supply zone, and here's another supply zone. Okay, these are the highest points price reached before it retraced. Okay, so this is how you get your supply zone, just the same way you get your demand zone. You know how to get your demand zone. This is also how to get your supply zones. So supply zones are those points where price got to before it came down. So in the next future, in future, when price got to this point and came down, in future, if price comes back here, a trader can say, okay, let me sell from this side downwards. We'll talk about how to enter trade later on, but just know that these are how you map out your supply zones. And there are also some supply zones that are invalid. Okay, some supply zones are invalid. Let's say for example, okay, like now, this supply went here, this supply zone here, and price came back. Now price got into this supply, move past the supply. Once price have moved past this supply up, this supply now becomes invalid. Okay, that supply is now invalid because price have moved past it, has broken through. Hope you understand. Hmm? Price has broken through this supply that was here. Price broke through it, so it makes this supply no more valid. So I have taken it out. So for this is a new supply zone now. We are working, then price came down, was doing its thing, then price came to this supply back again. And now broke this supply and went up again and went up again. You know, that makes this supply zone now invalid again. This now becomes invalid. We now take it off. So we now have one supply zone, only one more supply zone left. Okay, so this is now our only supply zone that we can now work with. So this is how you know a valid supply zone and an invalid supply zone. Okay, so for now, let us take a break for now. Now that you've known supply zones and demand zones, it is from these supply zones and demand zones that we now refine in future to now call it OB, order block. A refined supply zone or demand zone is called an order block, which the smart money concepts or those doing ICT they normally use OB for their entries and for their trades. All this we are going to get into it gradually, but for now, I want you to familiarize yourself with demand and supply, and also share some other videos for you to also go through and make sure you get the supply zones and demand zones. It is very, very important. Okay, so thank you very much for staying tuned with me. I'll see you soon in my next video. If you have any comments or any question, please kindly write below. Just write down there, and I will get